everybody, it's FemTrooper, and today I'm going to be reviewing a game that I've been waiting a long time to play, and I've finally beaten it, and that game is Mother 3. Wow, this game is so good. If you have played Mother 2, you have to play this, and I know everyone's been telling me that for a long time now, but as an Earthbound fan, but I'm serious, it's so good. So how I played Mother 3 was on a reproduction card that I got through JJ Games, and I'm not sure if it's available on other websites, but it was available there. It's totally worth it. I know that there are ROMs that you can get, but I'm not really an emulator ROM person. It's just, I don't want to play games on the computer, and it's just not my thing. But they did make a reproduction cart, and we purchased it actually at the end of 2013, so I've had it for a little while, but I finally decided it's time to play Mother 3, and I was not disappointed in the slightest. I'm so glad that this exists. I would really love it if Nintendo would release Mother 3, even as an eShop download, or if they did like an Earthbound Mother 3 combo on the 3DS, that would be amazing. But again, I can only dream. But hopefully one day something like that will happen, because Earthbound is available on the eShop now for $10. So if you've not played that game, guys, you have to play that. So if you guys don't know, Earthbound is a part of a series called Mother, and they released the first one, which is called Mother, just Mother, sometimes called Earthbound Zero in the West, and they released that on the Famicom, and they didn't bother to release it in the West. Then they released Mother 2, and that's called Earthbound because they did release it in the West. And you don't really have to play the first one to understand what's going on. And then, obviously Earthbound had a lot of success in Japan, not so much in the West, so they released a third game called Mother 3. But because Earthbound and Mother 2 kind of failed in North America, it didn't really do so well, so they didn't bother to release Mother 3 to the West. They thought this series is over, at least for the West, and Japan got Mother 3. And you kind of have to play Mother 2 to get some things in it, but as a whole you don't. But as somebody who obviously has played Mother 2, you have to play Mother 2 in order to fully get everything you can out of Mother 3, because yes, there are references, and it's so much more enjoyable when you know what's going on because you've played the previous game. So it's a Mother game, very similar to Dragon Quest in the way that the enemies show up on screen, turn-based RPG. This is exactly the same kind of battle system as Mother 2. Not really anything new here. Same thing with items. They're all silly things like pizza and magic pudding and stuff. They're all real items. Same with your weapons in general, all pretty much real life stuff. It's set in a modern day society. There are quirky things in it that are obviously not real, like a roadblock attacking you, or a musical instrument attacking you. Obviously not 100% real, but that's the quirkiness of the game. Set in a modern day setting, so the enemies are really weird twists on stuff, like a chair attacking you, that kind of a thing, which I think is fun, and it's quirky and hilarious, and I really enjoy that aspect of the Mother series, just because it's so weird and wacky, and you don't see that as a lot with a lot of JRPGs, because sometimes they take themselves way too seriously, and B, they're usually set in that medieval time period or a steampunk setting, and there's something really interesting when you take all the elements of a JRPG and put them with modern day setting. So there's cars, and there's people have TVs in their houses, and it's modern, it's up to date. And this game is also from 2006, so it's not really that old. It was for the Game Boy Advance, and it still has that really great 16-bit feel. However, the animations are way better than what was in Earthbound, because the capabilities, they could do more things. So there are the graphics are 16-bit, but the animations are a little bit better. So I really enjoyed that part of it. The music in this game is done by a different person. It's done by Shogo Sakai, and it's not as good, but it's still excellent. As a soundtrack in general, it's really good. It's something I would definitely listen to in my free time. In fact, I have. But it just isn't the same as what we got to experience out of Earthbound and Mother 2. It's just, there's something, really magical and whimsical and and eerie and creepy that wasn't quite captured in the soundtrack of Mother 3. But that's okay. It was still really good, and there are a lot of themes from Earthbound that transfer over into Mother 3. Really, really good stuff here. So it is a very, top-notch soundtrack. It just fell a bit short for me. But that's, again, and as I've mentioned in like every video I make, because Earthbound's my favorite video game of all time, it's pretty hard for me to find something that will be better. So I'll always find something, to complain about. And because it's in the same series, it's tough for anything to beat Mother 2 for me personally. But again, really, really good music in this. It's definitely worth your time to listen to after playing the game. What stood out to me about this game was not only that it was a Mother game, and so I was kind of guaranteed to like it, but the story in this game is like amazing. Honestly, it's better than Earthbound. I said it. The story is way better than Earthbound. And the reason I say that is because the story in Earthbound is very stereotypical and sort of just, I'm not saying it's not creative because the entire game itself is creative. Earthbound as a whole is very creative and very interesting and so unique. We've never really seen another thing like it. However, Mother 3 has a story that is way more powerful, emotional. I think it's a stronger story, and it's not just about a bunch of characters in an RPG, like a party of 4 saving the world. So that Earthbound does have that element in it, where it's kind of like 4 kids. None of them really have solid personalities, to be honest with you. Like, Ness is really just a silent protagonist, and like, let's be honest, do Paula, Pooh, or Jeff really have strong personalities? Not really. So as much as a whole, the gameplay and the overall story is good, individually, they're okay. But the characters in Mother 3 are very, very strong. Everybody has an interesting backstory. In fact, for almost half of the game, I'd say probably half of the game, you actually play as different characters. So it kind of builds up. You actually really start to understand each character individually before they all kind of join up and create a party that you will use for the rest of the game. But you will just use one character for a while, then something else, switches and you see it from a different viewpoint and you're another character. And I really thought that was strong because you actually really understand why each character is doing what they're doing. I don't want to spoil a lot because this game was so cool. I don't really want to go into specifics on why people are doing stuff. Earthbound is more of a big scale game. You're 4 kids, you travel all across the world, and you try and basically save the world from devastation. It's really epic. Mother 3 is not like that. It's more of a really interesting story that really captures your heart, and it's not about saving the whole planet per se. It's more about just saving your village and what you have and your family, like your values, and protecting everything that you stand for. So it's a little different. And, it's not a game that has cliche traveling around the world like an RPG where you'll start in one town and you'll make it all the way across different continents and get to another town. This isn't really quite like that. You really are just trying to fight to save your town, your village, where you're from, and what you stand for as a person, and all your friends, and all the values you have. And I thought that was really interesting because at first I thought I was going to be really pissed off by that because I love new towns. I love that aspect of RPG. I love going from point A to point B, and then finally getting to point B and checking out all the stores and all the shops and all the people's houses and getting new weapons and blah, blah, blah. Mother 3 didn't necessarily have that because it's in a very smaller area. I mean, you still go all over the place and there's different things you get to see, but it's not the same as in Earthbound where you're in the equivalent of a New York and then you end up in the equivalent of like, Dubai or something. Like it's not that vast, which makes it more unique because to some extent, they took a very small area and, really made it work. And I thought that was really powerful because it was more, to some extent, more realistic. Because you think, okay, 4 kids traveling across the world, that's a game, that's a movie. This was like, okay, this is real, even though there's also magical elements and weird things coming to life and attacking you. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. I love the characters in this game. Especially some of the sort of other characters in this game. I really like some of the enemies, like Mr. Facade was really interesting, and you kind of want to know what his deal is. And I really, really like the Magypsies, partially because, and again, here's more of there's a lot of adult themes in this game. I don't mean like weird and gross, but I just mean like just things that are deep that as a child you might not understand as much, but you might really appreciate or get into a lot of the elements that they add to this, like the Magypsy characters. They help you out and blah, blah, blah. I don't really want to say too much, but they're essentially, they're not human. They're a different species, but they're pretty much gender queer, which I thought was really interesting and very sort of outside of the box to put in a video game. But that's why I like Mother, because they take really, you know, more adult themes to put in a game and they throw it at you. Like, you know, there's different elements of, there's super freaky, disturbing stuff in this game. There's elements of conformity. There's like homosexuality. That's why I like the Mother series so much, because on the outside you think, oh, it's just a children's game. It's so colorful. It's so bright. It's not like a dark RPG where you're trying to save the world. And it is, though. It's so dark, and there's so many elements that are like very upsetting, and they make you, you know, feel creeped out, or they make you so happy that they put something like that in a game. But really like creepy elements. Like there is a huge part of like conformity that's a big element, and it creeps you out. Like a big enemy in this game is the Pigmask army, and they're just creepy as all hell. Like, because the whole thing, you're wondering, what is their deal? Who is behind this? It has like it's like, okay, let me describe it this way. It's like you took the Stepford Wives and mixed it with Star Wars. And you get a whole lot of weird shit going on in there. And I loved that. I loved seeing something that was so dark and disturbing, but so nice on the outside. Kind of like the Stepford Wives. And the Pigmask army kind of reminds me of like stormtroopers and stuff. And, you know, they're being commanded to do bad things, but you don't necessarily think it's bad because everything is so nice. That's why I love it. So weird and creepy. So yeah, really good, really, really good characters and really good enemies in this game and awesome villains. And I must say, a fantastic way to end the game. I love the final boss. I'm not saying anything, but it was really awesome. So what can you expect from this game? You can expect to be upset. You can expect to cry. You can expect to be so happy. You can expect to just be like, yes! It's just a very good game. It's amazing. Nothing will ever beat Mother 2 for me, because there's just something that you can't... Not only is Mother 2 a really, really, really good game, but it's also nostalgic. So sometimes it's hard to beat that. You just can't beat nostalgia, because it has other... Like, I didn't play it yesterday. I've had Mother 2. I played 20 years ago. So nothing will ever beat that for me. And that's why I thought, you know, to be honest with you, I thought I was going to be very disappointed by Mother 3, because I knew it wasn't the same, you know, travel-wise. We went to all these different towns, and I thought, well, nothing will beat Mother 2 for me. It's going to be not very good. It'll be just sort of subpar, and that's not the case at all. It's fantastic. It's a really good game. I'd put this in my top 10 any day. This was a great game and a way better story than Earthbound, if you ask me, just because you're so invested in the characters and you're so involved, and I was just so into it, guys. It's really good. So if you guys can get your hands on this cartridge, or if you know Japanese, you know, order it online in the original form. I need to do that. I need to get both Mother 2 and Mother 3 in their original box and original cartridge. I don't know why I don't have that yet, but really, really good game. So I recommend it. I'm not really a big reproduction cart person. This is the first one I've ever had, and it's so worth it, guys. Also, I mean, they did a great job. This looks great. Like, I have my Earthbound, you know, my Mother shelf, and I have this on there with like a little Ness figure. And wow, guys, this is an amazing series. In fact, this confirms to me that Mother is just such an amazing, solid series, because, like I said, a game like, for example, Final Fantasy VI, which is dark and creepy and, you know, it's adult, and, you know, but it kind of is on the outside. You look at it on the, you know, you look at the game case and you get that sense. You go, yeah, okay, this is a dark RPG. this looks so whimsical and happy. I mean, look at the characters. They're so happy and nice and everybody seems so great. But on the inside, there's some really dark stuff going on here. Adult themes and very creepy. I mean, Earthbound had some really disturbing stuff in there. Like Gygus? What the hell? So there's a lot of stuff like that. So if you really like the dark and creepy whimsicality of Earthbound, you will love Mother 3. So I'm recommending it because I'm recommending Mother in general to everybody. Everybody needs to check out at least something from the Mother series, especially Earthbound, because it's so good. That's it. That's my review on Mother 3. Obviously, I really enjoyed it, and I recommend it to everybody. So that's it. I'll see you guys later.